It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, bringing you all of the latest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. 5 wins in a row and an undefeated and unprecedented start to the football season for the West Bloomfield Lakers as they are looking to continue that magic tomorrow night as they prepare to head over to Oxford High School to take on the Wildcats. Tyler Kieft from our team spoke with head coach Zach Hilbers about what the team needs to prepare for against Oxford.
I'm Tyler Kieft. He, of course, is head coach Zach Hilbers. The 5-0 Lakers go back out on the road, this time heading back into northern Oakland County. The defending OAA Red Division champions, the Oxford Wildcats, are on the docket at Big Blue on Friday night. They're 3-2 overall. They've had some really tough games so far this season, but when they have shown what they are capable of, this is a really good team. You can't be taking your foot off the gas on Friday night against Oxford. What about them makes them such a scary team, even at 3-2 at midseason?
Well, I mean, anyone in our league, I think you could say that of, and
Sure.
Clearly it's them. You mentioned they won the league last year. They play a similar style where quarterback with a lot of experience. He's a really good player. They'll kind of grind you and run the ball, kind of smash it, but then they also have a really effective play-action game, and they're pretty versatile on offense, and they have a good scheme. So, and then defensively, they've always been tough, and their defensive coordinator's taken over as head coach, and their identity really hasn't changed too much there either.
Yeah, Coach Potts, a longtime assistant at Oxford, much like Coach Hilbers was here at West Bloomfield High School, and it has kind of been the trend in the OAA in recent years. Longtime coaches, former players, guys with that pedigree taking over the job. How does that help to maybe, and of course it's a different program, you're not in that locker room every day, but to have that consistency in the locker room from the coaching standpoint when you do make a big transition, after someone that was as big of a contributor to that program as Coach Line moving on, how does that help a team transition to a new era while maintaining some of those strengths that they clearly had ready to go last season?
And I think consistency in staff is important for any good high school program, so we try to keep our guys around as long as we can, and obviously sometimes they have bigger and greater goals, and they're going to move on with those things in life, and we're happy for them. But I think the consistency is really important because the kids get used to your standard and the message and what it takes to be successful, and I'm sure that was kind of seamless for them because of his longevity there.
You look back at recent years, some of the toughest matchups for the Lakers defenses have been those multi-year starting quarterbacks, especially when you get into that third year at the helm. You're playing some of your best football. That's got to be a scary thing to think about coming into Friday night because last season, second-year starting quarterback Jack Hendricks had a fantastic game in that matchup here in West Bloomfield. 2 passing touchdowns, over 200 yards passing. That's a kid that can make a ton of plays, both in the air and on the ground every Friday night.
Yeah, he extends plays with his feet. He's really athletic. He's mobile, and then he's a pretty good passer too. So he's not the biggest kid in the world, but he gets it done. He reminds us a lot of Rick Nance. We talk about it when we watch film from our quarterback from a few years ago. That in high school football, it doesn't always matter how big and strong you are or whatever. You can be a player and get stuff done, and he certainly is.
He went off last week at Lake Orion, 268 yards passing, 67% efficiency at Lake Orion. That's following up 70% a couple weeks back against Clarkston, one of the best teams in the entire state. Really scary matchup for the West Bloomfield Lakers there. They kind of have a similar story on paper to what your offense looked like coming into the season. Not many people returning from that starting lineup last year, but those players that are returning, guys like Carter Unruh, like A.J. Krupa, they play big roles in that team, and they can make some big stops.
Yeah, they were definitely senior heavy last year, but yeah, like you said, they have returning players, and they're pretty versatile too. They'll play running back, wing, fullback, line them up at receiver, and they do a good job of getting their guys the balls lots of different ways. And that versatility, I guess, similar to us, kind of keeps you off balance as a defense.
38-14, Oxford win last year here at West Bloomfield High School. Lakers, again, on that revenge tour they seem to be going on in 2025, have another opportunity in a tough matchup, really tough environment, too. And I've talked to you about this in the past, talked to Coach Grice and Coach Bellamy also, and many others about that away environment. It's not necessarily the same impact that it has having gone on the road or having home field advantage as you would at the college or NFL level. But when you have a fan base as passionate as you do in Oxford that loves their football, that can kind of make for that sort of simulated environment. How do you get your guys prepared to go into an environment like that?
Well, when it comes to like the crowd and the communities like that, we kind of use it as a motivating factor that they're going to be out there. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and like it's a platform that you get to play on. You have this opportunity, and our kids usually take that and run with it. The biggest thing for us is like the change in routine, how much earlier we have to leave and get ready, and everything feels accelerated on Friday. It's a little bit of a bus ride up there, but it's nothing that other programs don't have to deal with. So I don't know, like some of those negatives can end up being positives.
You're trying not to look too far ahead, but you're 5-0 now, undefeated in the OAA Red Division. Right now, it's more or less a two-horse race between yourself and Clarkston. A win this week could set up a very, very big homecoming game on October 10th. How do you use that as motivation, potentially, without it becoming a distraction or getting the focus off of Oxford's game on Friday night?
And we haven't brought it up to the kids because if we don't win on Friday night, it's not as big of a game anyway. So I know it's in the back of your head. It probably is theirs too. But if you don't focus on the task at hand, especially in this league, then you end up paying for it more often than not.
Yeah, tough schedule ahead for West Bloomfield. There are no weeks available to be off the rest of the season, especially if you want to do something pretty rare in the OAA Red Division, come out of a regular season undefeated. Coach, before we let you go, big improvements each and every week throughout these first 5 weeks. What do you believe improved from week 4 to week 5 that you believe could have a big impact on bringing home the 6th dub of the season this Friday in Oxford?
I think it was really, we were a lot cleaner on both sides of the ball. I know we had that fumble in the third quarter on Friday, which kind of obviously hurt and stalled us a little bit. But we were sloppy at times at Lake Orion and got away with it with a really good second half. We were a lot more consistent. The difference is now is we got to finish some of those drives. We had great drives that resulted in 6 points, like 4 drives that really could have been scoring drives. And then the game feels a lot different if you even punch in half of those.
Very sustained drives, too, for the Lakers on Friday night, including one that was over 9 minutes long, and that 20-7 victory over Birmingham Groves. Looking for more of the same Friday night on that big blue turf in northern Oakland County and Oxford. We'll have it for you right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Coach, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Every week poses a new challenge and a new obstacle for the West Bloomfield Lakers, but I am confident that they can get the job done once again. As always, you can stay up to date with all of the news with West Bloomfield Lakers on civiccentertv.com/Lakers Sports. We will be on the air tomorrow with Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni doing the play-by-play for the matchup against Oxford, and we will see if West Bloomfield can continue their winning streak and make it to 6-0. This Saturday, October 4th at Marshbank Park, enjoy a free women-centered community designed to inspire movement, connection, and mindful reset with the Recess Club, providing a modern take on recess and encouraging women to reclaim intentional pauses in their lives through movement and nature-based gatherings. Joining us now on the Splash Live to tell us more is fitness instructor and wellness advocate Melissa Coulier, the creator of the Recess Club. Melissa, really happy to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Of course. Now, this is going to be a great event this weekend taking place at Marshbank Park. What inspired you to create the Recess Club, and why now?
Yeah, it's really just to give us a way to pause and reconnect with our bodies, step away from the craziness, the busyness, get offline, really come together as a community, and having movement and play be more accessible and simplify it, right? We tend to overcomplicate wellness in general, and this is just a way to get people together and move their bodies and just, revisit that recess mindset of getting outside just for play and connection.
That's right. Getting in tune with your body, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying nature. It sounds amazing. Now, wellness can be a complicated term. It can mean several different things. How does the Recess Club redefine what wellness means for women today?
Yeah, so I think that the Recess Club in general is, like I said, it's simplifying it, right? It's simplifying wellness. We tend to think that we have to get in that 1 hour at the gym, and if we don't, we're somehow failing in getting that movement in. And this is a way to get people to step outside, realize how simple wellness can be, and how we don't have to take it so serious, you know? It can be of play, it can be just to get in nature. And also, I just love the aspect of everybody getting together in community that's free and having real life conversation in person rather than being stuck online.
I like that. And I like that you're making it inclusive for everybody. I am curious, what types of women do you see joining the Recess Club, and what would you say that they're looking for?
Yeah, the women I see joining Recess Club are leaders, entrepreneurs, mothers. It really ranges. I feel like we've seen a little bit of everything, but it's mostly women who are carrying so much weight with responsibility of home, work, and just needing that break, needing that pause to just give themselves that time.
Interesting. And yeah, you're right. Everybody needs that break, that moment to just shut out the world for just a little bit and focus on yourself. Why do you think it's so hard for women, especially busy professionals or moms, to give themselves permission to take a break?
I think we're conditioned to put everyone else first, and that can be at the detriment to our own health, our mindset, and this just gives a really encouraging way with accountability. Other people are going to be there in order to really give yourself that moment and that time.
Of course. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Melissa Coulier, the creator of the Recess Club, which will be having its women-centered community event taking place this Saturday, October 4th at Marshbank Park. Now, Melissa, of course, I also want to talk about your personal connection with an event like this and with wellness. I would be remiss if I did not mention you are the wife of the incredibly talented Dave Coulier, of course, very well-known comedian, best known for Full House, who, of course, in the past year has dealt with a battle with cancer, which thankfully he has beaten. Talk about your own personal connection with wellness and why this event is beneficial for you and your own connection.
Yeah, so my connection to start was my own personal journey. I have lupus, and I was diagnosed in my early 20s, and it was really debilitating. I had chronic joint pain. And once I used food, movement, and mindset as medicine, I healed my body and I was able to move in a less pain-free or in a less painful way. I became a function first pain-free movement specialist and then co-founded a company called Live Well, Lead Well with my business partner, who is a holistic nutritionist who helped me on my journey to healing. And to your point with Dave, we, helped him through movement, mindset, and nutrition in order for him to stay resilient as possible. And taking recess breaks really helped us during the heaviness of all of the treatment and everything that we were going through with his chemotherapy, right? Just being able to go outside for walks was making such a huge difference and impact on our mental health, as well as just being able to move our body and get, fresh air, stepping outside, letting the sun kiss your face. All of those things are just so healing, and it seems really simple and basic, but we often forget the most simple, basic things.
That's absolutely right, and very, very happy to hear about how this has helped you and helped Dave with these programs. And you talked about nature a lot in terms of the healing process and the grounding experiences. How would you say that really comes into play with the Recess Club?
Yeah, so I make the Recess Club accessible for all ranges, most to moderate, and really making sure that people feel comfortable taking time in nature on these trails. It's healing just to get outside, right? And it's the fastest, simplest way to reconnect with your body. And so if you're outside in nature, you're away from all of the hecticness, the busyness, all of the stressors that are going on in your life. You're actually physically stepping outside of all of that. And so that in itself is part of that like healing, and then just being able to connect with the sounds of nature, of, rather than listening to music or a podcast, it's tuning into the leaves in the wind and tuning into what's happening in real time.
That's right, and even those little moments can have such a big impact on your health and your well-being, and it's great that you're providing these experiences for all these people here in West Bloomfield. And you've got some other recess clubs happening throughout the rest of the month of October. Looking ahead, how do you see the Recess Club expanding into new formats or locations?
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting started, and we've been going since June. We're hoping to open up more chapters, a digital platform as well, so that people can come in and talk to each other that they've met, have an online community, as well as possibly weekend retreats. So it's just in the beginning stages, and we have lots of really amazing healing things planned for the community.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what's to come with the Recess Club in the future. Melissa, real quick before we let you go, where can people go to learn a little bit more information about what you're providing with the Recess Club and about future events?
Great, yes. Everything is on my website at melissacoulier.com. And you can also find me on Instagram at melissacoulier.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what's to come, and it's great that you're providing all of these experiences to people here in West Bloomfield. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. melissacoulier.com is where you can go to gain all of your information about the Recess Club and about what's happening in the future. We're going to take a quick break and jump into some more stories and interviews right here on the Splash Live right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Schaff. Last week, the Holistic Wellness Center Be Balanced held its grand opening ceremony for the public. With sisters Rosalind Reeves and Stephanie Kinney at the helm, the center has already made a name for itself in the greater West Bloomfield community. I was there at the grand opening to hear just how much of an impact this center has made and how its strong family foundation helps it to succeed.
It has been so exciting. I could not be happier for Rosalind and Stephanie. They are like family, and I'm happy to be a part of this. They are so deserving. They worked hard to get to this point, and the best is yet to come for them.
What do you think are some of the best things with Be Balanced that are here to offer to the people of greater West Bloomfield?
I think people should really know that there's help for you when it comes to things that you're experiencing in your body. It's not always just exercise or eating right. It's a combination of a lot of things. And so they're here to help find out what problems you may have, what you're trying to find solutions to, and they can do that with the products that they offer that you can't get at the local pharmacies, and their program is amazing. I encourage people to find out more about it.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So I know them, I know the sisters. They are incredible people, and working together will be amazing because I'm going to bring my client to them, and then client needs me too. So it's a perfect partnership.
Oh, we are energized. We are energized because Be Balanced Centers, this is the first one in Michigan, and we chose West Bloomfield, one of the best cities in the state. Just to have a business in the city where we live is just magnifying. It's all of our neighbors, it's all of our friends, it's the people that we see every day that are here to support us.
How great is it to have seen that passion grow into something like this and to be truly benefiting the people of greater West Bloomfield?
Well, it was a passion of mine because I actually did the program and I saw the miraculous results. I knew that it was a franchise out of Pennsylvania and that there weren't any here. So we just wanted to be the first to be here with it and to let people experience it.
It feels amazing. I have lost personally 39 pounds on the program, and I'm so excited to be able to share it with other women and men.
What is it like to have such a strong family foundation supporting a business like this?
So working with family is awesome. We know each other, we understand each other, we know how to support each other. So it's just, I'm thankful to have my husband, Rosalind's husband, Steve, my husband, Kendall, together to do this with us.
What attributes do you think have really contributed the most to this building success?
They've always wanted to do something on their own. They always wanted to take the front role of it, and they did it. They've had it in them. Years ago, we started another business, and they're still part of that business. But they had the drive and the motivation to do something on their own, and they finally did it, and I'm just so happy for them.
We want to enrich our community, so I'm hoping today they'll take away good food, good information, fellowship, and just enjoy with us, celebrate with us what's going on. But more so, I want to make sure that we pass information to people and let them know we are offering holistic medicine in a way to change your life forever.
It's amazing to see all of that hard work pay off. A big congratulations to Rosalind and Stephanie. Can't wait to see all of the lives that are going to be changed throughout greater West Bloomfield with the help of Be Balanced. Does your child know what to do when bullying happens? That is what True Martial Arts is asking for their Bully Buster event taking place on Saturday, October 18th. This event is designed to equip kids with essential tools to handle bullying confidently and calmly as children participate in hands-on, age-appropriate scenarios that teach assertiveness and de-escalation. Matthew Sikora, the owner and chief instructor for True Martial Arts West Bloomfield, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, Jake. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, and this is a very important topic. Bullying, unfortunately, something that I'm sure every school deals with, what every kid, I'm sure, either witnesses or deals with at some point, and it's important that this information is out there. So what inspired True Martial Arts to create the Bully Buster event?
Well, we find ourselves as martial arts instructors and as school owners on the front lines of this battle of bullying, because many times what happens is parents and families, when their kids are going through something like that, they're really not quite sure where to turn. So oftentimes they're looking for something to boost their child's confidence, to equip them with skills. God forbid they were ever had to defend themselves physically. And a lot of times school guidance counselors, principals, teachers will like kind of refer children that are going through these experiences to us. So, kind of as a byproduct of the whole situation, martial arts instructors have become, really warriors on the front lines of this battle.
That's absolutely right. And it's great that you guys are doing your part to help educate these kids. And you said parents express a lot of concerns about bullying. What would you say are maybe the most common concerns that parents have about bullying, and how does this event address them?
We see a lot of parents come in whose children are going through a hard time at school or outside of school in whatever group that they're in. And oftentimes parents, with their best intentions will, it's not till these things are happening that they turn to try to find solutions for them. So that's the unfortunate truth of the situation, is that, many schools are doing their very best to try to equip children with tools within the school, to try to create a culture within their school of anti-bullying. But unfortunately, a lot of times parents aren't turning to find solutions until their children are already going through a hard time. So what we want to try to do is reach out to the community in shows like this and through these events that we're putting on, to try to encourage families and parents to focus on prevention. Like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So we want to help, prevent these situations from happening.
That's right. And you guys are providing a lot of great resources at this event. As I said, age-appropriate scenarios that teach assertiveness and de-escalation. How are the activities tailored to be age-appropriate yet effective in teaching self-defense and conflict resolution?
So bullying studies on bullying show that it really is most prevalent in grades 5, 6, 7. That's really where we're seeing a rise in that. That's where those 5th, 6th, and 7th graders are turning to us for help. So in terms of it being age appropriate at events like we put on, and this goes on in our regular traditional programs year round as well, they're broken off into groups and discussing topics that are more relevant to their age group, right? Where, maybe cyberbullying isn't relevant to a 3rd and 4th grader, but it is for a 7th or 8th or 9th grader. So we try to do our best to make sure that we're bringing topics to them that are relevant for their age group.
That's important, and that's really, really good that you're tailoring these classes and these topics to these kids. That's great to see. Now, martial arts can provide a lot of things for these kids. Obviously, it can provide physical fitness and exercise, but it can also provide emotional resilience and confidence in these kids. How would you say these classes help to showcase those resources?
That's a great question. And, we want to equip children with the skills to be able to defend themselves. We want to equip children with the skills to stand up for themselves and it's through confidence that happens. And it's not the type of confidence, not that there's anything wrong with this, but it's not the type of confidence that you get from scoring a goal, playing soccer, or a touchdown, playing football. That's really great. But what we want to prepare them with the type of confidence that they can carry with them at all times, that they can defend themselves. And the type of confidence, like, oh, I've been through this before. I've role played this situation many times before, and I know exactly what to say here. So, I feel like that confidence comes from experience. It comes from, through achievement, through something like martial arts training. So more than anything else, it's really providing that unshakable brand of confidence that martial arts can provide for kids.
I love it, and I can't wait to see what these kids are going to be taking away from this class. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Matthew Sikora, the owner and chief instructor for True Martial Arts in West Bloomfield, talking about the Bully Buster event that's going to be taking place on Saturday, October 18th, to help kids combat bullying safely. Now, you guys have held, I'm sure you guys have held events like this in the past, especially events to help kids and help them gain this confidence and these physical skills. What kinds of transformations do you typically see in children who attend True Martial Arts and events like this?
It's incomparable. I mean, to anything else, right? Like the type of transformation that we see in children that kind of grow up in a martial arts school is really quite incredible. There's all of the major challenges that kids are going through these days. There's not a single one of them that it's not addressed by martial arts, bullying being one of them, obesity, just physical fitness, confidence, building discipline, all of the things and skills that coaches want their players to have on the field, that teachers want their students to have in the classroom. There's not a single one of them that's not addressed by a martial arts program run properly. Right. So that's designed to help build their confidence. So we see transformations in kids that, everything from just a new level of physical fitness that provides them confidence, or taking kids that maybe don't innately have that, that unshakable self-confidence and slowly building them up over time. And that's the thing about martial arts is there's no season of martial arts. It's not like they do it for 6 weeks and at the end of the 6 weeks we send into the world with a new level of confidence. Something that these types of skills and attributes that we're talking about are something that it's slowly built over time. Right. So if going back to that prevention piece, getting involved with a program like that early, whether it be our program or somebody else's, is so important. I can't think of a single thing that would be more important. Having children myself, just knowing that they're going to go out to school each day, out in the world each day, being willing to stand up for themselves, having confidence in who they are, being willing to stick up and be a leader for other children around them. I mean, what could be more important than that?
Absolutely. You said it best. And I'm so happy you just mentioned the fact that you are a parent yourself, Matthew. You have kids. I'm curious, what role do parents play in reinforcing the lessons that are being taught during events like these?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? And I feel like it's on us as parents to prepare our children, right? And like we as parents in the modern day have so many responsibilities and life moves so fast that it's I think a lot of times parents when they come to us and their children are experiencing bullying, they're kind of flabbergasted that the school allows this to happen or that the school didn't step in earlier. And in some cases that's true, right? But we as parents have to take full responsibility for our kids and help prepare them for these situations. There's no, schools are doing so many things these days, and being able to be everywhere all the time is impossible. So we have to take it upon ourselves as parents to teach our children these skills, or find the people who can and then reinforce that. Talk to our kids, right? I know my kids get uncomfortable with it, but I role play with them. Hey, what would you do in this situation? Or what would you say if someone said something like this to you? And unfortunately, there's no one conversation that's going to prepare them for everything. It has to be something that's reinforced each and every day. Finding things for them that turn them to confident individuals that are willing to, look somebody in the eye, mean what they say, be assertive, teach them about, making eye contact with someone, how to properly introduce themselves to someone, because all of these things are prevention measures that need to be put in place for kids to feel safe when they're interacting with their classmates. So parents have all of the responsibility and unfortunately are not necessarily equipped themselves for how to teach this. So finding people in the community that are is really, really important.
That is absolutely right. And as I've been saying, it's great that you are providing those resources for all of these kids in Greater West Bloomfield. Matthew, I got one more question before we wrap things up.
Sure.
Where can people go to learn a little bit more information about the Bully Buster event and maybe about some future events that True Martial Arts has in store in the future?
Yeah, thank you. So if you go to our website, bloomfieldmartialarts.com, it'll give you all of the avenues to get in touch with us. This community event that we're putting on October 18th is a free community event. It is it's going to be a service to the community that we put out there. We want to get this education out there. We want to provide an avenue for families that feel like they need that ongoing training. But more than anything else, just get that education piece out there. So reach out to us on our Facebook page. You can find out more information about the event. Feel free to reach out to us by visiting our website, bloomfieldmartialarts.com, and we're happy to give you any guidance that we can in trying to point you in the right direction to find the right type of training for your child.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see what's to come. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Once again, the Bully Buster event is going to be taking place on October 18th at True Martial Arts, providing all of these incredible resources to make sure that kids know how to handle bullying in a safe way. This weekend, celebrate fall at the 18th annual Pumpkin Patch hosted by Jan Hayes, a beloved seasonal tradition in Sylvan Lake. The event will be held at the Sylvan Lake Community Center on Sunday, October 5th, bringing together families, friends, and neighbors for a festive day of fall. Jan Hayes, the owner of JH Homes, recently joined us on the Splash Live to talk about what we can expect at this year's event.
Thank you for having us again.
Absolutely. Very, very excited. I mean, when you know the Jan Hayes Pumpkin Patch is coming around again, that's when you know that fall is here. So I'm sure the residents are really, really looking forward to it. And this is the 18th year of the Pumpkin Patch. What
Correct.
inspired you to start this tradition, and how would you say it's grown over the years?
Well, we started it years ago. I'm a resident of Sylvan. I've been a resident of Sylvan for 38 years. And I do primarily most of the sales in there. So it was a way for me to thank the community and give back. I do several promotions throughout the year, but the Pumpkin Patch has absolutely become the biggest event. And we start preparation several weeks beforehand. All of the households get a private invitation to the event. And so we're expecting close to 500 people again this year.
Wow. I mean, that really tells you how popular this event is every year. And what would you say makes this year's Pumpkin Patch very, very special compared to the past years?
Well, we always have the Great Pumpkin, and we have a countdown to the Great Pumpkin, which is 5 days from now, and the Great Pumpkin will arrive. It is a huge pumpkin, several hundred pounds, requires a front loader to be delivered to the person who wins it. And we've this year we have some new things going on. We are going to have the Fox and the Fiddle, which is a duet play from 1 to 4 at the event, and they will also act as our MCs. We'll be giving away kind of organic boards and things throughout the event by pulling raffle tickets. And we also are going to have a costume parade this year. In years past, we've done it, and we're bringing the costume parade back. So a lot of the little ones do show up dressed up, and some of the adults too.
Man, that just sounds like so much fun. It sounds like there's something there for every member of the family. Now, I want to get into the Great Pumpkin Contest just a little bit more, because obviously that's one of the big draws to this event, and it adds a ton of excitement. What can you share a little bit more about how that contest works?
So what we do is when everybody comes to the event, we ask them to sign in, and they are given a raffle ticket for the Great Pumpkin specifically. And then usually around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we are going to draw it, and we have one of the children pull out the winning ticket. At that point, it is delivered by my husband, Paul. He drives the front loader to whomever has won the pumpkin. And unfortunately, it has to be a Sylvan Lake resident because we have to be able to get the pumpkin to the house. But we order over 2 tons of pumpkins every year from Prelip Farms, and they are the ones who pick out the giant pumpkin for us.
That is crazy. I mean, all those pumpkins, and you're giving away such a spectacle for the community. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone when the Great Pumpkin arrives at this event. And keep in mind, I said when, not if. I am not making the same mistake as Linus.
Right, absolutely.
But obviously, this pumpkin patch is playing such a big role in helping to celebrate the fall spirit all throughout Sylvan Lake and beyond. What would you say are some of the biggest ways people can celebrate at this event, and how would you say that this really touches families that show up?
I think it really creates an actual feel of being in the patch, and we invite you to come and see it so you can see firsthand. We deliver over 600 pumpkins, and thanks to some of the residents who have helped me year after year, the truck arrives at 7 a.m. and we literally create the patch for the kids to be able to walk through and choose their pumpkin. And we usually have medium-sized to larger. We have wheelbarrows, to help get them out to the cars and things. But I think that is probably the one event that the little ones enjoy the most, being able to actually run through the patch. And, we have corn stalks and hay bales and really try to make it feel authentic. We also do some of the other events that is the biggest draw is we have face painting every year. And it's gotten to the point where we have to have 2 face painters. And this year, again, we'll be designating tickets because they stand in line for hours to get the face painted. So we brought the Fox and the Fiddle in to kind of be able to host the games, to announce winners of other things going on. We serve over 600 chili dogs. We have cider and donuts. Every child who comes, actually every person who comes gets a bag of candy that's already pre-made for them and handed to them. So there's a lot of things going on, but we do also have a crafts table where the kids can actually create their own pumpkin, either with stickers or paint or however they want to dress this little pumpkin up. So it is really a great event. And this year we have added, I think, last year in 23 we started, it's called the Familiar Faces of Sylvan Lake. And what that is, we used to do it on a separate day, but it is the Familiar Faces of Sylvan Lake are all the dogs that we have in Sylvan Lake. Sylvan Lake is a very dog-friendly community. People walk always. So we started and we created the Familiar Faces of Sylvan Lake calendar. And every resident of Sylvan Lake in December receives a calendar for the upcoming year. So the 26 photos will be taken from 9 to 12 at the pumpkin patch. And then the patch actually starts from 12 to 4. But this way, it's the people of Sylvan Lake get to see their own dogs.
Oh, that is amazing.
So that is kind of how we've created this, and it's become a really big hit. And we are just kind of combining it to be able to get people there on the same day, at the community center. Bring the photos. You do have to go to janhayes.com in order to reserve a time for the photos because it is only going to be from 9 to 12. And then again, these are delivered in January to all the residents of Sylvan Lake.
That is fantastic. And then that's another reason that's going to help get people out there. You're going to see a whole bunch of dogs out at this event. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Jan Hayes of JH Homes, talking about the 18th annual Pumpkin Patch that is going to be celebrated here in Sylvan Lake this Sunday, October 5th. Now, Jan, how do you see events like this contributing to strengthening very, very powerful neighborhood connections?
I think it brings everybody together and everybody expects it and waits for it. We do several promotions throughout the year, but this definitely by far, because it is anybody can come. We have people, from 8 months to 80 who join us, so I think it really does bring everybody together. And I think we're going to be blessed with great weather again this weekend. We start doing it early in the month because weather has not been our friend. Sometimes when we hold it later in the month, but this way it really does. The trees are starting to change, being on the lake itself, the boats are still out, and it brings people together. And I think it shows what a unique community that Sylvan Lake is. We have a Parks and Recreations, committee that does many things throughout the year, and other individuals. We have a concert series. I do for the Memorial Day parade, we provide all the flags, and on the 4th of July, every single home is decorated with a flag from Jan Hayes Homes. And then the pumpkin patch absolutely just brings everybody out so they can be outside and enjoy the fall weather. And everything is provided. The food, the cider, everything for the kids' events, everything is provided for a way for us to say thank you to the community.
And they are very, very appreciative of everything that you do. Sounds like you do such a lot for the community. What keeps you motivated to continue organizing this event year after year?
I think really just to say thank you back to everybody for being so supportive of me over the years. And it really does keep everybody together. But what keeps me motivated is I love people and I love what I do. And this is a way to say thank you.
Well, everybody in the Sylvan Lake community loves what you do. It's going to be so much fun out there Sunday this week. I will certainly be there as well to see everything. One more question before we wrap things up, Jan. Looking ahead, how do you envision the pumpkin patch continuing to evolve within the next few years?
I would say we try to do something different every year to bring something in. Like last year, we had the live bugs. Depending on what the community will allow me to do, I'd love to bring in a petting farm or something like that. We used to do the bounce houses and all that, but COVID changed those things. So we try to think of different things to keep it exciting for the people, but I do see it continuing. It has become a staple of the community, and whether it's just me or the Parks and Recs becomes involved with me at some point, but it was a way that I started way back 18 years ago as just a special thanks to the people who have supported me.
18 years, and look at how this event has grown. It is one of the best annual traditions in the Sylvan Lake community, and it is all happening this weekend. Jan, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Jake, thank you for having us again. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
I will be there. Once again, the Jan Hayes Pumpkin Patch, the 18th annual Jan Hayes Pumpkin Patch, taking place this Sunday, October 5th at the Sylvan Lake Community Center from 12 to 4. West Bloomfield Parks is getting themselves in the fall spirit. It's almost time for their fall group Hayrides. Gather a private group up to 30 participants and enjoy a 20-minute tractor-drawn hayride through Marshbank Park's scenic trails. The event is open to guests ages 1 and up, and it's a family-friendly experience that will take place on October 10th, 16th, and 17th. Lauren Azuri, the park naturalist for West Bloomfield Parks, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Lauren, great to have you with us this morning.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for having me. Always love to share fall fun in our community.
Of course. And fall fun is definitely everywhere you look all throughout Greater West Bloomfield right now. What inspired the creation of the group Hayrides event, and how long has this been going on?
Well, Hayrides probably for centuries, but the group Hayrides with this unique private experience, kind of a little elevated VIP for your special group, was actually inspired by COVID. So we didn't want to get rid of the beloved Hayrides and the special connections and ways to tour the park in the fall colors when we weren't allowed to all be close together. So this was originally intended for your small social group. And a lot of hard things came out of COVID, but a lot of great creativity and ideas came out of COVID. And some have evolved along the way, but we've kept some of them, and the group Hayrides was one of them. So it was a way to keep your social circle together and a way to still gather on the outdoors and enjoy nature together for your mental health. And so we're continuing them. They've been very, very popular. We have 3 dates that are almost all sold out, but it is intended for your special group.
Awesome. So that's a very important note for everyone watching, that the spots are filling up fast. So if you want to be involved with this, you should act quickly. But there's so much to take away with these events, and there's fun nature stops along the hayride that also provide some educational opportunities as well. How do you design the route for the hayrides and choose the nature stops along the way?
Yeah, it's we try to mix it up every year because we do have families or groups that make this a tradition. And so we want them to learn something new or want to return the following year. So it does take a little creativity. It's definitely teamwork between our park staff, who helps us decide what are good, safe routes that we can drive the hay wagon on, but still get great views of nature, as well as the creativity of our naturalist staff, who come up with the different nature like games and activities and things to play based on maybe like what you see behind you in the hay wagon. So we try to use, nature as our guide. So of course we talk about fall colors. We have bat houses in our parks. We like to highlight those species that people might not always love, but they should know how great they really are. So we try to highlight different things every year. We also make sure that our nature stops are interactive. So often there's a little game element, or you get to get up from the wagon and run around, or like a little scavenger hunt. something to keep you on your toes and keep you engaged with nature instead of just bumping along. So we always like to sneak in those nature education stops when we can.
I love it, providing something for people to learn something along the way. Now, as I mentioned, this event is open for just about all ages. How do you ensure that this experience is enjoyable for a wide age range, whether you're a toddler or you're an adult?
Absolutely. Well, we have a pretty talented nature staff. Caitlin and David, our naturalists, are really good at adapting. So if your group is a wide range of ages, we obviously can cater to that. But if you have a lot of little friends, we might sing some silly songs and engage them in different ways than we would if it was a full adult group. We've had adult clubs from the community come, and obviously we maybe will quiz them or change the trivia up and make it harder for an adult group versus a family group or a young age group. So we have a lot of knowledge hidden in our back pocket, so we do adjust based on ages of the groups.
Awesome. Like to hear how you're planning this for all sorts of different ages. Now, I am curious because you did just talk about the rest of the team and the guides as well for these hayrides. What kind of training or preparation do your guides receive before leading a group hayride like this one?
Yeah, so our hayride drivers, our park staff, are the ones that drive the hayrides and get the wagon all prepared. So they do all the safety checks on all of those kinds of equipment on their regular basis. They have our safety checklists, and they practice the route once or twice. If we use the same route as last year, we still like to check the route because we want to make sure that there's no obstructions or nature changes. So we want to make sure that that's safe and that our route is good. There's currently construction in certain parts of Marshbank Park for our improvement projects, so we have to keep that in mind as well. So that's a safety factor, but also we give reminders before we take off, so we make sure that everyone knows to remain seated when we're moving and things like that. But as far as training and knowledge, we actually are lucky enough that we get to spend a fair amount of time in our parks. So we see the changing seasons. If there's something we see that we don't know about, we do some research. So if there's a plant we haven't been familiar with, we make sure we look that up or contact our other naturalist resources to find out what they are, so that if we do get a question that we might not have known, we can answer it for you. But also, all of our naturalists have backgrounds in biology or fisheries and wildlife, degrees like that. So we all have base knowledge in anything happening out in Michigan wilderness right now.
Glad to know that you guys are prepared and ready. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with park naturalist Lauren Azuri from West Bloomfield Parks, talking about the group fall hayrides that are going to be taking place throughout the month of October on October 10th, 16th, and 17th at Marshbank Park. Now, Lauren, of course, when we're talking about Michigan events that take place outside, we always have to worry about the weather. How do you handle inclement weather or safety concerns on the day of the hayrides?
Great question, and something we always, as outdoor event planners, have to keep in mind, of course. So we are a parks department, so we actually do encourage people to be outside unless it's unsafe. So the only reason we would cancel is in the event of thunder and lightning, so a large storm. But we have ran hayrides before in light rain. We have big umbrellas that we can share with you. And then the group hayrides, as part of their package, also receive these blankets as part of it for a few members of their group to share. And so they're little travel blankets. So if it's cold out, you can use that to cozy yourself up. If it's raining, you can use to cover up that way. So we do go out in light rain, but not in thunder and lightning. So we usually always have plan A, which is we're hoping for beautiful fall sunny weather. And depending on the time of your hayride, some great sunsets in the park. But then we also have plan B for light rain. And of course, plan C would be not the favorite, but we would have to cancel it if there was thunder and lightning.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys have it all the way up to plan Z, but you guys are prepared for everything. A couple more questions before we wrap things up, Lauren. Do you have plans for expanding or evolving this event maybe in the next few years with new themes, longer rides, and maybe some additional dates?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have, along with the group hayrides, we've now, since last year, reintroduced what we call our community hayrides. So that's if you don't have a group that you want to go with and you just have one or two people, you can join up with other members in the community that you might not know and enjoy the hayride then. So we have now adapted to have this hybrid version of what we used to offer. So we used to offer just community hayrides with people in the community that would come together and meet each other, didn't know each other. Then during COVID, we adapted to the group hayrides. And then knowing that that's a kind of a niche for certain groups, we reintroduced the community hayrides. So those are currently sold out this year, but we hope that many can join us. So given the popularity of community hayrides this year, we will probably introduce more of those next year. So we always follow those attendance trends in the community and try to accommodate when we can. So definitely adding more community hayrides. And of course, we always change our nature stops so that you can learn something new every year. So it'll be a new animal or a new game or a new section of the park to stop in and view.
Awesome. Something new every time. I love it. Lauren, where can people go to gain a little bit more information about the fall hayrides that are happening very, very soon in October?
Absolutely. You can visit us on wbparks.org/group hayrides. All the dates are available there. Right now, we have some options available for our group hayride time slots on Friday, October 10th, but the other dates are sold out. So we hope a few of you can join us with your community group together on October 10th.
Awesome. October 10th is the day of the first fall hayride. Hope to see a lot of people from Greater West Bloomfield out there. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Jake, thanks for having me, and thanks all for your interest in learning more about nature in all different creative ways like our hayrides.
Of course, and big thank you to you and everybody from West Bloomfield Parks for doing your part in helping to educate the community on the nature that's right outside your door. As we mentioned at the top of the show, West Bloomfield is going to be taking on Oxford High School tomorrow night at Oxford to see if West Bloomfield can continue their incredible winning streak for the football season. All of the players are getting ready for another exciting game, including Willie Edwards, who has already been on an absolute tear this season. Tyler Keefe from our team recently spoke with Willie to talk about his success this season and what he's looking forward to throughout the rest of the games.
I mean, it feels good, like me, I've been in their shadows kind of since really sophomore year. So I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from, Jackson Carver. And, he helped me a lot, really a lot, because he trusted me. It's just been great to actually see that the hard work is paying off. And it feels good to actually to really contribute, really, because when we had lost to A&T, I wasn't playing. So it's just it kind of hurt because, I couldn't really do much about the loss. So, it felt good.
And to have that experience going back with Jackson, too, from the JV days coming up in this program, you and other receivers on this team, other key skill players on this team, that's got to be a big contributor to the performance breaking out these first 5 weeks.
Yeah, because me and Jackson, we go way back because he got, practice on Saturdays with just, me and him and the receivers. So we worked a lot, there. We built our connection and our trust, and, it's showing great. So I'm proud.
254 yards receiving and 1 touchdown for Willie Edwards through the first 5 weeks. He's averaging just insane numbers right now, 25.4 yards per catch in 2025, and the Groves game alone, 17 yards per catch. Looking on paper from just a year ago, you'd be right up there with guys like Elijah Durham and Jaden Allos, Cam Flowers on the stat sheet. So for you, as you entered this season, what were some of your individual goals that ultimately would have been helping the team, and how do you feel you're achieving them so far?
I mean, really, I wasn't really expecting a play receiver because I played linebacker last year for the Lakers, and I was hoping to fill in that role, but a spot opened up, and I stepped up, and I'm glad. And it's been great to help the team win, because that's always the goal at the end of the day. Because without a team, there's nothing. So.
You spoke earlier about learning together with Jackson and some of the other players that have come up from JV in recent years have had that experience together. But last year being on the team in the linebacker core, but being able to practice against people like Elijah Durham and Jaden Allos, who had a lot of varsity experience, Cameron Flowers, who had experience at West Bloomfield as well as in Ann Arbor, previously playing high-level football. How did that help you maybe make that transition in 2025 to being a full-time wide receiver, and beyond that, being wide receiver number 1?
I mean, it helped me because I got to, I wouldn't say, I say I got to learn from the best because, they're at D1 schools right now, so they helped me a lot. They taught me how to break and things like that. So, it's just good to, actually have a mentor kind of. So, yeah.
Lakers 5-0. They're going to be going on the road once again, back into northern Oakland County this week. Oxford on the docket, Friday, 7 p.m. kickoff. We will have a live broadcast for you from the away side of the field at Oxford High School. 7 o'clock kickoff. Our coverage will begin right around 6:30, 6:45 p.m. CivicCenterTV.com/Lakers Sports. Your second year on varsity, now playing at the wide receiver position. It's really night and day, it seems, from last year, the performance of this team. Having been been on that team, having seen it from the defensive side, seen it from the second string and the first string a bit in 2024, what do you think is the big difference with this team that's helped go from being a team on the cusp of being over 500 in 2024 to being one of the final undefeated teams in Division I?
The key thing for us has been really brotherhood and leadership, because, last year we lacked that a lot. And, in the offseason we preached it. In the weight room we preached that as well. In meetings, all that stuff, we preach brotherhood, and we have that. And that's like the biggest key thing, because, we help each other and we build each other up after mistakes. Like when Will had fumbled, we told him, hey, bro, we got you. You keep your head up and just make plays. And he did, and helped us win.
Yeah, he came back and he had 2 big defensive stops in the fourth quarter that set up a game-winning drive, a game-sealing drive. They were up 12-7 at the time, but included a touchdown where he really did earn that back at the end of the game. That fourth quarter MVP for Will Espy and Willie Edwards, been the MVP in the receiving corps for the Lakers all season long. Going to be a big contributor in these next few weeks as the thick of the OAA Red schedule goes forward. Willie, before we let you go, I want to dive back into that locker room for this season. You mentioned the brotherhood, building those bonds, maintaining that chemistry. That's something that every player, every coach talks about every single season. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to aim for it. It's another thing to achieve it. What do you think has been the difference maker in turning this locker room into arguably the closest in the OAA Red this season?
It's really been our captains. I got to give very, very high praise to like Will Espy, Jeremiah Benson, Kamari Pittman, and Jamar Shakespeare. I have to give high praise to those guys because they told us that this is a great team and we got great trust and great bond. And that bond has built and is getting stronger and stronger every day. And it's been showing that it's working. We don't really, I wouldn't say, we don't really bring each other down. We help build and get stronger and stronger. So that has been like a really key factor for us, and it's been great.
Once again, you can see all the magic on civiccentertv.com/LakersSports. But that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for helping to make this show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.